thought I'd preface that and sort of end this bit of the programme by running through my list of things that you have asked to be remembered as evidence of Boris Johnson's character and political career. It's 18 long, actually, or 17 long, because I'll tell you what I did. I wrote down one which the chap who was going to start telling us secret revelations about Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe was going to say. So I think I'll leave that one on the list, actually. But I can tell you now, there are at least... Right now in my inbox, there's 10 more staring at me that haven't made the cut. So these are the 18 that have come up today. Bearing in mind that I began to take it up to 19 with the decision to send Jacob Rees-Mogg to Balmoral to mislead the Queen about the unlawful proroguing of Parliament. Yeah, nothing to see here. So we begin with, he invented the genre of journalism that told lies about the European Union, our membership of it, and essentially groomed and gaslit an entire nation into Brexit. Speaking of Brexit, the 350 million quid conflation with the NHS on the side of that bus, the refusal to continue to help feed the poorest children in the country during the school holidays in lockdown, and then the complete flip-flop when Marcus Rashford rightfully intervened, the consent to Dominic Cummings standing in the Rose Garden in Downing Street, or sitting in the Rose Garden in Downing Street and telling barefaced lies about his trip to Barnard Castle, the claim that the best way to honour the memory of Joe Cox, a passionate anti-Brexit campaigner assassinated by a white supremacist terrorist during the Brexit campaign, would be to, and I quote Boris Johnson, get Brexit done. The failure to review or reconsider his approach to humanity in general and coronavirus in particular after his own illness, his own very, very serious illness, the absence, the caller suggested, of redemption. Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe's plight, his contribution to that was to make it worse by sticking his foot in his mouth once again, running away on the day that he could have voted against the fourth runway at Heathrow, which of course he'd promised his constituents in the constituency he represents, which would be most affected by the new runway. He just legged it and hid, jeopardising the peace process in Northern Ireland and lying about the necessity of introducing a border in the Irish Sea, the abolition of the Erasmus programme, which left our correspondence students in Rome being sent home sometimes halfway through their course because the funding had dried up, undermining the whole of liberal democracy and damaging the UK's reputation abroad. Those are two very big but nonetheless pertinent contributions to the list. Refusing to come back from his holiday when the London riots were underway. The deployment of the phrase tank-topped bum boys, displaying a sort of casual and deeply unpleasant homophobia. The affair with Jennifer Arcuri, and of course the amount of money that ended up in her business and the trips that she went on when he was mayor, but we'll just stick it to the affair for the time being. Conspiring with Darius Guppy to get a journalist beaten up, saying to the father of a poorly child that there were no press present while being filmed by the BBC in a hospital. The death toll, which stands at 154,356, and how many of those people would still be alive if he had adopted different policies or displayed more clarity and leadership at the time. And finally, going to court to seek to avoid acknowledging the existence of his own child. Ladies and gentlemen, your Prime Minister.